hello, and...
Oh no. Making a video go live at the same time as starting a stream was a very stupid idea by me. Bam. Make this video go live. Boom. Didn't check the video like I normally do. It'll be fine. Come on, load up so I can post. Yes.
Oh, Pedro, finish your song. Keep it going.
Oh, nothing else I need to do urgently. Bam. Bam, bam, bam. The sound of videos being made, boys. Right, statistically, there's 2 women watching as well. You can prove anything with statistics. No. You hear me clattering my keyboard. I will put the camera on. It'll be fine in a second. Don't play something random now. Okay, let's go that. That's fine. It's fine with where. I can hear a weird sound outside. It'll be fine. Right. What am I clicking? Let's click on this. And let's click on this. And oh my god. God, why is my It's one of the problems with the spooky new BoredGamer shirts is that their yellow is slightly similar to green, apparently, according to the world. Oh, well, it's fine. You can just see through my chest. How is everyone? I hope everyone's doing good. Yeah, it's $20 now to see me. It's it's $20. We're gating the stream. It's fine. It's gonna be the same, but it's $20. No. Hello. Hope everyone's doing well. Today we will talk about whatever people want to talk about. Really. Probably stuff in the title as well. Like we'll talk about CitizenCon. Talk about some 3.3 updates, stuff like that. If you want to ask a question pretty much about anything, question in brackets, I'll do my best to answer them. I mean, even if I don't know the answer, I can give probably a reasonably good sort of like, I don't know, but, you know, and then pretend I know more than I do. I hope everyone is doing well, though. There was some controversy throughout the week with CitizenCon, and but it's mostly resolved now. We'll talk about both sides of that, I suppose. I do want to talk about a couple of things actually, like okay, with the CitizenCon thing, me personally, and people can have any fucking opinion they want, and I'll sort of semi-respect it, or at least I think that people should have a right to their opinions. I might think that your opinion is stupid, but I'll still, you know, I'm not going to say you're not allowed an opinion or anything like that. People, I don't have all the answers, is what I'm trying to say. But with the whole CitizenCon thing, there was a lot more outrage than probably was warranted. I was a bit more. I was just a bit more moderate about it, I suppose, what it was. I was sort of like, I mean, I made a horrible sound when I saw it. I was like, oh, people are going to be pissed about this. Well, I wasn't super pissed about it. I understood what they were trying to do. They're trying to be Blizzard before they're Blizzard. It was a stupid idea, but, you know. I was just sort of like, well, I get to see it an hour later if I wasn't a concierge anyway. But, you know, we'll talk about that properly in a bit, because I was in about 13 different minds. But there was lots of people just saying, oh my god, this is the worst thing that's ever happened. And then there was a lot of people saying, you should be holding Star Citizen to account for this. And a lot of people saying, well, no, it's reasonable because they're trying to make the broadcast great. And they don't want to take any money away from sort of like game development. They want it to be its own beast. And it's all reasonable comments. Like, I don't have to be extreme either way. I can go, huh. Which is what I did. But I just reading a load of comments that were just extreme one way or the other. I was thinking, I mean, you could be a bit more moderate about it, a bit more chill. That's one of the problems I actually have when I make my videos. I look at something and I go, well, let's have a look at it from all sides. I mean, obviously I'm a Star Citizen fan and I want to cover Star Citizen. It's a Star Citizen channel. I want to do Star Citizen news and information. But I'll try and cover it fairly. And sometimes CIG do stuff wrong. And sometimes the news isn't sort of like, yeah, look at the progress we made. Sometimes it's like, oh, there's been delays on this or whatever. The news is just the news. It's a brute fact. I've seen other YouTubers recently that just seem to have these extreme opinions, which I don't think you should really have, especially with the data that's available on a lot of stuff. And this isn't just to do with Star Citizen, this is to do with lots of stuff. And they're seen as reasonable because they're so outraged all the time. I can't do that form of manufactured outrage. I'm not calling out anyone in particular, because some of the stuff some of the YouTubers do is pretty cool, and some I understand is character. Some of them, they literally are, this is for my audience, I am a character that is talking about stuff. But it's just a manufactured outrage is just weird. But anyway, that was my every stream you'll get a little rant at the beginning. Before we go into questions and talk about the news and stuff. So someone's messaged me on. Someone else messaging me about that I should have taken a stance of pro CitizenCon or anti CitizenCon. I'll read everyone's messages. I really will. I don't necessarily agree with you. I don't want to take an extreme stance on something I don't believe strongly in. So we will talk about the CitizenCon thing in a bit more detail. But how is everyone? Is everyone good? Notification Squad indeed. Will we be able to play this campaign yet or nah? At some point you will. Not yet. Not yet. We don't know how long Squadron 42 Episode 1 is away. Guesstimates are around a year, but we have no fucking clue, really. Hopefully, at CitizenCon, they will tell us. Do you think it was a good idea to melt my killer for a Mercury and Avenger Titan? It depends what you want, gameplay-wise. Like, if you want combat and exploration, Aquila is probably a bit better. If you want a data runner, if you want something that's going to be a courier, if you want something that's good at avoiding and fleeing from other ships or punching through, then the Mercury's a great idea, and the Avenger's cool. But it's also going to depend on the amount of people you've got. Like, do you want to be flying in your Avenger Titan while other people are flying in the Mercury? Do you want one of your friends to be flying your Avenger Titan with you? Like, the Avenger Titan is sort of like, if you've got a Mercury on Aquila, probably less relevant. We will... what's the latest on Squadron 42 when we're getting it? We don't know. We don't know yet. We'll know a bit more at CitizenCon. Almost certainly. They should have some road to completion stuff for that. We haven't heard... I think next week we've got Squadron 42 updates from the studios. So, yeah, 10th of October is CitizenCon. Oh, I love Pedro so much. He's such a humble dude as well. I am actually live. This is really me, unless you're watching it later, in which case it's... I could like lie about the time and the date to confuse you even more. By the way, BlizzCon has charges viewers on BlizzCon for years. Do you even care? I buy a BlizzCon ticket every year because one of the things I used to do on my channel was Diablo 3, and I was going to do pre-Star Citizen, and I was going to do lots of Blizzard content because their games have huge viewership, and I was going to do very quick, tiny little guides on where'd you get these items, how do you do this, what's this, so they literally look at search terms and do that. So, Sheriff, JB, thank you very much for the sub, very much appreciated. Mwah! It's your little kid for you. I'm not sure why, you just get it. But yeah, so I love Blizzard games. I love what they've done with that company. They do stuff wrong all the time. They do stuff right all the time. But they've got a huge viewership. And although World of Warcraft wasn't the first MMO I played, I think the first one I played was Asheron's Call. Or maybe it was Ultima Online. It was around that era. But World of Warcraft is the one I played the most. Yeah. BlizzCon, $40, I think it's a ticket. They do very well out of it. However, CIG are not Blizzard. They don't have multiple finished, developed games. And that's why BlizzCon works. However, Star Citizen, there's definitely a core audience, and there's quite a lot of them that want to watch CitizenCon live streams, that want a fan fest, that want to go to these big events. And I think CIG are potentially trying to do a bit too much with the fan fest. But we'll have to wait and see. I'll be happy to be proved wrong. I think it might be pretty awesome. Like, CitizenCon's going to be amazing for attendees, and it should be pretty cool. My audio setup, I've got a Yeti, a blue Yeti studio mic, and it's running through a transformer, so I can do that's RoboCat now. Or I can do Noodles Dead Man. These are very much in jokes. I don't know what that one is. Is that a girl? I don't know. Who knows? One of them's I use pretending I'm a girl on VR chat. You know, as you do. No, it's you too can be a spooky ghost with a BoredGamer t-shirt. What's the airspeed of an unladen swallow, African or American? Is that the European? I can't fucking remember the quote. I ain't seen Monty Python in years. I'm very sorry. I've butchered your hilarious joke. What was your initial reaction when CIG told everyone they're going to be charging for the stream? Well, immediately I went, Well, actually, the sound I made was, So it was obviously a bad choice. I mean, objectively, it was a bad choice. I can't see anyone thinking it was a good choice. No one. To gate everything, like they could have got away with just saying the main presentation is going to be streamed, and if you want to watch any of the behind-the-scenes stuff and the other stuff on the multiple stages, yeah, we're going to have a ticket to help support that. It's in addition to what we normally do. Bam! Great. Fucking win. Or if they said, we're doing a sale, or we're doing a something to fund this stream. If you want to get involved with that, that would be great. The goodie package, for example, that's there. Or if they had said, oh, we are planning to do this, what do people think? If they tested the water first, they talked to the community about, we are considering getting in a really high, like good stream team in, lots of proper professional cameras and audio setup, make sure it's done so professionally and great that it's going to cost us a lot of money. We don't want to take money away from the development, so we're going to ask, we might do a digital ticket, what do people think? Things like that. Like, there's a lot of options they could have done to negate the terrible reaction from the community. It wasn't a terrible reaction, but the reaction of anger from the community. And I do think that reaction was a bit extreme from a lot of people. It was sort of like very aggressively entitled from some. And I'm not saying that people don't have the right to criticize and be angry at CIG. You fucking do. And that's totally fine. People are totally entitled to their opinions. But I thought it was extreme, and I'm entitled to my opinion. Like, I could see the reason they were trying to do it. They just did it badly. CIG seem to do. There's a disconnect with communication before they do something, and that they're super reactionary, which is that they're good at being reactionary, but being reactionary is bad when you could have done something about it before. So, like, being proactive about it, they need to think about stuff proactively. Open development means they're super criticized, but it also means you can abuse the relationship that you have with your viewers by going, guys, tell me about what you think about this. Just talk about it. Yeah, and one of the other things was that obviously it was going to be anything that was gated was going to be on the YouTube later that day. Well, the main presentation was, and then the rest of it as soon as possible. So it was just an argument of, we want to watch it live, and I totally understand that. You shouldn't gate that. It should be all about exposure. I'm against them having it only for Star Citizen accounts. So at the moment, they've talked about the streams are all going to be free through if you've got a Star Citizen account. Now, you don't need to buy anything. You can just make an account. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need to be a subscriber or anything like that now. But that does suggest, almost certainly, that it's only going to be through their website that you can actually watch, which means they're totally neglecting Twitch and YouTube, which, if they want hype and they want exposure, that's what they should also be doing. They should also allow streams through that. I mean, I know most of their views is going to come from the actual videos that go on YouTube, and then sort of like third-party media linking to those. That's understandable, but you want it all. You don't want to gate any of it, even if it's... That's just my opinion. I don't think I'm that amazing YouTuber. I've identified a niche that was Star Citizen not being covered fully, and there's definitely more spaces in Star Citizen for more content creators to create information-based content. Eventually, I want to go into doing guides when they're more relevant, and meta and all that sort of stuff once it's actually relevant. Once we actually have a flight model that is sort of like stabilized. Once we have reasons to earn money in games, I want to be looking at that. Yeah, I can't remember what the point I was trying to make now. It's gone off on a tangent. I have a question. Why are you the way you are? I don't know. I suffer from a mental illness, which is actually true. I do suffer from OCD and depression, so I'm thorough but erratic. People shouldn't need to pay. That's a totally relevant thing. I think that when it comes to watching the live stream, especially the main stuff, it was a stupid idea to even consider having it paid for. I understand what they were trying to do, but they're not yet there yet. They're not there. They're not BlizzCon yet. People just get polarized in odd ways, and they think, I don't know. You need to consider everything, and then you need to come to a more reasoned opinion, in my opinion, when it comes to this sort of stuff. Like, yeah, it should be probably free to everyone. Yeah, I can see what they were trying to do. I do want a high quality stream that stuff doesn't go wrong on. I want to have good quality video. I want to have good quality audio. I don't want the audio to disconnect halfway through. I don't want someone to be looking in the camera for 10 minutes confused. I mean, it's quite funny when that happens, to be honest. My main corporation is Nomad Black, but I also have a BoredGamer one as well now. I am part of almost all of the large lawful orgs as well, because I want to be doing content with them at some point. Yeah, my reaction was just meh. Ash Angel, like, that's a reasonable thing. It's not going to affect some people. Some people are will see it as super anti-consumer or super or whatever. Or, there's a lot of stuff going on, but you've got to give CIG credit. They did react to it, and they went, okay, yeah, that's now they've said let's make it free to everyone that's got an account. But I still don't think that's enough. Like, I totally understand not taking money away from development for these shows, but it makes them money as well. Like, there was just so much to consider, and there's so many arguments for it. Yeah, CIG wanted to give us a better quality stream, which is reasonable. They don't want to take money away from the game development for this event, but they've got to remember that it makes them money as well, and there's a lot of balancing acts there, and lots of arguments that people will make, and not that big a deal. I'm sorry if that annoys anyone, but it's not. I was okay with the $20 ticket, but it should still include a single 1080p mainstream, with the ticket having various cameras, 4K, 60 FPS, with VODs and digital goodies. I can see that. Loud minority and all that. Well, yeah, I mean, but people need opinions, and sometimes it's not a loud minority, sometimes it's a quiet majority, and sometimes people's views aren't represented, and it's really hard to do. Truth is boring. Extreme opinions sell more papers. Oh shit! No, you're true. That is right. But like, I don't mind clickbait videos as long as it's accurate to the content in the video. Like, that's just trying to create an interesting title. However, when something is so far taken out of context for clickbait, I just like, for fuck's sake, I've been tricked again. Besides, all the VODs would be available on YouTube anyway. Yeah, and that was it. People felt entitled to see it live, and I think, yeah, I mean, they should be able to see it live, to be honest. But it was going to be shown straight. I don't know. There's a lot going on. Black hole question mark? There's probably going to be black holes in the game. There's black holes on the star map, so there's a lawnmower going on outside my house, which hopefully won't distract from the stream too much. What will happen to the old packs? Those that included the Verse and Squadron 42 digital downloads. If you have 2 packs, would you have 2 issues of single player game? So if you've got multiple packages on your computer, you only have 1 copy of Squadron 42. Doesn't matter how many Squadron 42, I don't believe how many Squadron 42 digital downloads you have on your single account. If you have multiple game packages, I think you might have access to multiple characters, though. So don't 100% quote me on that, because they're still working stuff like that out. You could obviously send one of those packages off to another account. I've been pretty good. Like, I've had some health problems recently, but they seem to be, with this chair, they seem to have been mostly fixed. Oh my god. Why lawnmower outside my house? I hate you. I've got a really nice chair now, and I think that I definitely had a kidney infection. But I think a lot of my issue was actually some sort of back problem. And the fact that I got quite tubby when I was depressed. Yeah, the other thing was that you could have got the $10 subscription rather than the $20 ticket to watch it if you wanted to. And they still got those digital goodie packages. So if people do want to support their live stream and potentially help out with CitizenCon stuff, you can buy their $10 digital goodies pack, which gives you a jacket, a gun, and a trophy. I suspect as well, almost certainly, if anything else is digital goodie-wise goes in, gets added to CitizenCon or made at CitizenCon, they'll also get added to the package later. Now, that's not confirmed, but I'm pretty sure that's what they'll do. I don't want any spoilers on Squadron 42, a simple progress bar of how far it is along. So when it comes to the roadmap and adding Squadron 42 Episode 1 to the roadmap, it will just be technology and stuff like that, and it won't be spoilers. I mean, they will avoid spoilers hard. RSI is open about everything since the very beginning. They started publishing in-game code and gameplay even in pre-alpha. Most... Oh, I lost where it all were. I found it. They started publishing in-game code and gameplay even in pre-alpha. Most gaming companies don't even publish stuff like that when the game is 80% done. Yeah, I mean, their open development has been the most open of any game that I've ever seen. Doesn't mean they're open entirely with everything. It doesn't mean they can just walk into their studios and just see everything. They are keeping some stuff are relatively hidden, but it's the most open of any development, and I love it for it. But you know everything. No, I don't know everything. There's a lot of information out there though to be able to watch and digest. So there's a lot of stuff available, and I'll go and educate myself when I don't know something, or try and ask a dev at some point. Do you know how CIG is going to deal with ship ramming in the PU? As a larger ship getting rammed by a smaller ship, vice versa. It's going to be a thing. I don't know how it's going to work. They don't want to incentivize ramming as a viable I win mechanic for smaller ships against larger ships, stuff like that. It needs to be balanced, and you need to prefer weapons over ramming. Do you see what I mean? Also, I mean, they don't want people to commit suicide and stuff like that in the game either. You want to be relatively aware that you are vulnerable if you are outside of your ship. When can we buy ships with in-game currency? Thanks. Mickey, don't know. We wanted, obviously, that since 3.0 and 3.1. They are definitely making progress towards it. Arena Commander and Star Marine is going to have integrated in-game rec, so that you can rent stuff directly from in-game now, which is a big step towards that. So you'll be able to rent loads of ships and stuff like that as well. In the Persistent Universe, potentially with 3.3, we'll have to wait and see. It will be soon, though. Hi, BoredGamer. I just wanted to let you know, no matter what you do, I won't watch your live stream, the CitizenCon this year. The first time I'll be attending in person. Oh, congratulations. I hope you enjoy it. Please tell me what you think when you come back. Will there be hidden Easter eggs in Lorville? Probably. This is all stuff. They do put stuff around the verse and hide stuff in little Easter eggs. I want a kiss. You can't have a kiss unless you give me money. Yesterday, the lead game behind Chris and Tony said, yes, they have hidden things in game. Yeah, he's talking about the Benny Henge and other stuff that they put in. That was Todd Pappy. Looking spooky, BG. Thank you. All the Easter eggs. It's not even Easter. Lol, lol, lol. I'm forgiven for the butchering. I appreciate it. I'm using a Roland VT and a software mixer. So the VT is the voice transformer thing. It's pretty cheap. Maya got me to get one. What's the difference between a joke and a rhetorical question? I don't know, Flammo Ninja. What is it? It's a shame you're not going to Austin. I thought that's a shame you haven't got autism. But thanks either way. I wanted to apologise in person for my squeezing hug I gave you at BlizzCon. I did receive some hugs. Were you the gropist? Someone groped me very, very firmly on the buttocks. What do you believe of without warning as well? It just came up to me and went, it's like, I was like, okay, thanks. What do you believe will be the big ship announcement at CitizenCon? Last year, I believe it was the Raven paired with the Octane, and everyone lost their minds. So, something from Drake, probably the Drake Kraken, which would be a scout carrier, large civilian carrier ship. Could be other stuff as well, though. Could be Corsair, which would be the Drake exploration ship / equivalent to the Constellation, sort of like a merger between those two. It could be a lot of different things. I mean, I'd like Titan suits as well. That'd be awesome. Drake Titan suits would be pretty fucking slick. Why I mention ramming is because the criminal system will have to figure out who instigated the ram attack, since no weapons are fired when ramming. What happens to people's crim level? It's an interesting thing. I don't know. They all have to work out criminal ratings and stuff like that for that occurrence. I suppose it's the ship that's going fastest, maybe, as a rough sort of guesstimate. Wait, I'm on the fence about Star Citizen. I was looking forward to watching the event, but now there's nothing for me to watch to convince me that this is a worth game. It's free now again. It's free. It's all sorted now. Did I announce the winner of Saber Raven? Yes, yesterday. He had some sort of weird double-barreled surname, and he has received it. I have come into a quantity of Saber Raven codes though, so I will be giving some away, not just in the monthly giveaways. I need to give some away on the Discord. I'll probably give a couple away onto the YouTube, my YouTube sponsors, and because there's a join button on YouTube now, it shield for self, and Patreons and stuff like that as well. So I've got a few of them. Did anything in the roadmap change this week? So nothing moved around, but there was progress made on a few things. It's slowed down, or it's currently crawling when it comes to features completed or tasks completed when it comes to object container streaming. So, destrut or not destrut? Not strut. Do not strut. Although, if I do an emote, it will be somehow representing struts. It's something like that. Yeah, it's an emote. Because there's an emote competition at the moment. Bam. Let's link this emote competition. For attendees for CitizenCon, you're supposed to record yourself doing an emote that you want in-game, and then you can get a mocap person at CitizenCon to actually make the emote. They said they'd allow content creators to restream it now. Yes, they did. What do you think they mean by that? Well, the content creators do restream parties, like me, Noobfire, Saurus, Twerk, people. So you can... I suspect you'll be able to potentially stream it from your phone now from the event, but it's to do with restreaming their stream and watching it, like watch parties and stuff. I was totally fine with the digital ticket, even bought one, although I'm concierge. When they rolled back on their commitment, I would just like them to stick to their decisions. Yeah, I mean, to do that, they need to be a bit more proactive and talk to the community before making a decision. That's my issue, the communication pre-decision making. And then they were reactionary to community outrage. I don't want them to be entirely reactionary to all community outrage. Like some stuff they probably do know better on, especially when it comes to certain development and bits. Like if the community had their way, then certain ships would be prioritized over others. And that might not necessarily be best for the game. Will we get a prisoner container for bounty hunts? Yes. Certain ships have them, like the Avenger Stalker and the Hawk. Hit me up on Messenger. I have those ships for you. I love you. Give ships. Ships for giveaways. You were talking to me about a video you wanted me to do. I vaguely remember. Yes. You got invited to the avocados. You can't scan your DNA, your NDA. Okay. There must be a way you can get the NDA back to them. Do you think the PTU will come this month? It could come at the very end of the month. The PTU for 3.3, potentially. Streaming fee was absurd beyond reason. I'm concierge, but after hearing that, I was waiting for the loot box announcement. Backer event gets streamed to backers for free, period. Yeah. I think people have lots of different views on this, and I think everyone's view is, has at least some valid points in. So, when is there going to be a big ship sale? CitizenCon. How important are 3.3 and 3.4 regards to core tech? 3.3 essential. So 3.3 is object container streaming. 3.4, not so much. It will be dialing in of that. So they're all important, but core tech wise, 3.3, object container streaming. 3.4, probably new flight model finished. So pretty fucking important. As one of the guys put it from test, it's just another one of those little things that CIG has done, which has robbed the players the wrong way. Yeah. 3.3 is not out yet. No, not even on PTU or to the Evocati. If they need money, they should have been smarter about where the event is and who they're hiring and how they organised it. I mean, there's lots of different arguments here. Like, do you want the money to come from the development money they've raised? Well, you can argue either way of that, because potentially they'll just make more money from investing it in CitizenCon. Thank you very much, Stormfire, for the sub. Appreciated. Fucking long-term Patreon backer, lover of the stream. Thank you. Appreciate it, Storm. So you could definitely argue lots of different ways with that. Also, if they want it to be its own beast, maybe they just want people to fund it separately. So so they're not using any of the backer funds. There's a lot of, yeah, they could have been smarter where the event is, but they're trying to make this amazing sort of like hyped event that is really great for the players that go there to remember. They're trying to make this fan fest, so there's a lot going on with that. Why is development all over the place? It's not. Shouldn't they focus on Persistent Universe and all the game features before Star Marine and Squadron 42? Squadron 42 is what needs to be finished first, realistically. Star Marine is sort of irrelevant from that. They're going to have a dedicated team looking at that, and Arena Commander and Star Marine at some point. The Persistent Universe shares a load of the tech and stuff that Squadron 42 does. They are focusing on stuff. Look at the roadmap. They previously have been pretty shoddy with scheduling, but now they're a billion times better with their quarterly releases. They're just starting to deliver, so I think that's an unfair thing to say. BoredGamer, I heard of all the meat diet for depression.
Tricksy little hobbits.
I don't know what that means. I've heard of meat and I've heard of dieting. Azuru, thank you. I appreciate the sub. Potential groper. Do you think cap ships will have tremendous range? Yes, but I'm not sure what you mean. But yes, they'll have tremendous range for scanning, for operating, for exploring, that sort of stuff. It would depend on the capital ship. It would depend on what systems you give them. And it would depend on lots of other stuff. I bought the digital goodies pack. I had to have it. A duster jacket included. Haven't seen those since the UE environment coat. It's the year's must-have fashion accessory. Sorry, I'm having problems reading that statement. But yes, duster coat, cool. I think I got a 7-day ban for saying that all doe-eyed manga lovers were nonces. Hurricane. Why you say this? Banning. No. You think they will refund me the difference as store on my digi-ticket if I ask them to change it to the goodie pack? I think if you bought a digital ticket, they should refund you. So I just say, bought a digital ticket, can you give me a refund? They should be able to give you that immediately because they've got a 14-day policy on refunds. So bam, and obviously they're no longer having the digital tickets. So just get a refund and then buy it again. That's what I do, Sheriff. Do you think the Polaris, Krarak, or Orion will be worked on this year? Yes. Yes to all of them. I think they'll be worked on this year. Don't think we'll see them this year when it comes to... Well, we might see bits of them. Certainly not going to see them flyable this year. They wanted us to pay for streaming. Does that mean they're in a bad financial place? No. There's no evidence of that at all. They seem to be making a fuckload of money. They've got a load of jobs that they want filling as well. They keep on expanding the studios. They're doing pretty well financially. It looks like on paper they're making like 34 to 36 million a year. And they've kept on expanding from that. So they should have a good, healthy amount of money in the bank. Probably, I don't know, pull a number out my ass, 10 to 50 million in savings ready for it. They probably wanted to make CitizenCon its own beast and are looking at it from it needs to be self-sufficient sort of route. So we're going to run this event. We don't want to take money away from development because that's going to anger people. So let's charge for CitizenCon separately. That's probably what their thought process was a bit. I can imagine that in the meetings with it, though, they would have been like, this is going to be controversial. This is going to be polarizing. And they still pushed forward with that. Well, Chris says it was his decision and his fault. So I'll lay that at the Chris Roberts' feet and say, yes, I see what you're trying to do. Bad decision, though. What are you saying? I can't pick Auroras off my Orion's front grille. Well, we don't know, Jaylee. Draw pictures of it. Make me a picture, Jaylee. I love you. I'm not sure how ramming is going to work. And that's the crux of it. I mean, I'm not sure of how anything's going to fucking work, but people still tune into these streams. When all the tech is made for Star Citizen, object container streaming, server meshing, etc., could other games use the technology, sell the code to other developers for a game? Massive BR games. Yes, in a while. Like, they did have a game license agreement with Crytek, which they shouldn't make a competing engine for 2 years. So if they were going to sell it and develop and license it out to other developers, it would have to be sort of like from the earliest they could do it's like 18 months from now or something like that. As a rough time. Do you see what I mean? But yeah, potentially. I mean, they want to have mods in the game. They want to have private servers. That would be after release, so that's going to be quite far in the future. But yeah, potentially. I'd like to see what the modding community does with this game. But yeah, they truly develop the Star engine. Depending on what their agreement is with Amazon Lumberyard, they could sell it as its own engine. I will be missing out. Big JR. So Big JR is the gentleman that made the model of the Saber Raven, and I suspect has made a dragonfly for people to ride or sit on for CitizenCon. Let me bring up jrfabrication.co.uk. Bam. I will be getting some stuff from you at some point, JR. But he makes Star Citizen props IRL, so you can get these like you can get a Star Citizen crate, which is also a computer case. This is actually a PC case. Oh, you can get one that's actually a fridge, which is fucking awesome. And you can get them with your company logo, or you can get them with specifically done in the ArcCorp style or whatever. But there's loads of cool stuff on there, like furniture and all props from the game that are efficiently Star Citizen licensed. Was it you that sent Brian the Stormbreaker? Yeah. I think I knew that already, but my brain was rebelling. What kind of chair do you have? I bought a very expensive chair in the end. I got an Herman Miller Aeron Remastered, which is apparently the best office chair in the world. And because I spend so much time in this chair, it just was a no-brainer eventually. I got it secondhand though, so it's like $800 or 600 quid. The Mercury's really popular, but I don't like the design. That's fair enough. You don't have to like the design. There's other ships for you. You might learn to love it later. Are there any popular ships that you don't like and why? Not really an aesthetic guy. Like, I don't really care how... the Reliance. Fuck the Reliant. I don't like the way it looks. And I just don't like the ship. Do you think the CitizenCon ship could be the Drake Kraken? Yes, 100%. I think that's the most likely scout carrier ship they talked about. Release the Kraken! You're sick to death of Drake. I think a lot of people are. But Drake are probably my favourite manufacturer when I really think about it. Pirate Titan suits. Woo! Oh, there's lots of emotes appearing. Oh, let's go to... Hey, Bored, guess what you can go and do? Is it fuck off, Robert Johnston? Robert is one of my most supportive backers, but pays me to tell me to go fuck myself. So thank you very much. I appreciate the mass amount of money you always donate. And if anyone else wants to tell me to feck off, feel free to donate and give money just to tell me that. All I ever wanted to do as a content creator, people tell me to go fuck myself. Bam, bam, bam. What else we got? What else we got here? Bored, will you ever do a video where you show your recording setup for each device and what it's used for? For us players thinking about setting up for streaming. Yeah, no worries. I can do something like that. I'll check it on the second channel. Yeah, I'll do something like that at some point. I'll do it because I'm probably going to be employing Zin at some point to help me full-time doing Star Citizen content and the channel, and probably promoting the second channel as well, and doing very regular streams. Not just of Star Citizen, but largely of Star Citizen. $20 to remove struts! Bored, do you know what the owner of the CitizenCon digital ticket after cancelling needs to do now? I'm assuming they will just automatically refund you. I would contact customer service and say, gift refund, please. If anyone from CIG is watching, I mean, I'll tweet them after this. Because what they need to do is need to post somewhere what to do, don't they? Hopefully they just auto-refund everyone. Is the Evocati worth joining in your opinion? I've been asked to join. Respawn crew. Okay, so you are basically a volunteer QA for that. It is buggy. It is hard work. If you actually want to get involved properly, it's time consuming. You get to see stuff a bit earlier than you would normally, but it's very sort of like you get a small percentage of the main patch to look at, and you only should be looking at these bits that they ask you to look at and stuff. So It is very much more ordered. If you like that idea, yeah, it's cool. It's a bit of an honor, I suppose, to some people, but it's time consuming and it is effort. You know what happened to the car racks for the Cyclone? No. Most players do not intentionally ram. It only appears that way from your point of view. It depends what ship you're in, I suppose. I wish CIG sold more physical models of their ships. Anyone else have that thought? I'm hoping JR, because I'm assuming it's one of the things he gets asked the most, will do physical models of ships at some point. And obviously he's done that. He did the Saber and he's done a full life Dragonfly, so I'm hoping we get some. Yeah, you would pay money for a 4 to 6 inch model of the Saber. I think a lot of people would. High quality, solid model. People do not realise that CIG is a business. It's not a Wonka factory. That is true as well. Like they are a business. They're heavily crowdfunded and they're quite responsive to their audience. But they are a business. Thank you very much, Michael. Appreciate it. Catch up later, bro. Pretty sure this was asked before, but do we have any hopeful news about Mercury? About the possibility it's going to be pushed through the pipeline as soon as? Don't know really. We'll have to see. I mean, it's not a huge ship. It's been well designed. The pipelines are a lot more refined now. It might be one of the Crusader. It might be the first Crusader ship to get fully through the pipeline, maybe. And then help to find the others. They typically want to do the smaller ones first, and they have all the materials and the shapeology nailed down and all that sort of stuff. Any updated info on docking collars? No, they need to finish the. Well, docking collars aren't really going to be a thing anymore. Ship-to-ship docking will be a thing, and that sort of stuff. Docking collars have sort of like been canned, as it were, but they need to finish the multi physics grid tech stuff. Which is currently in the backlog. Can you put your YouTube fame pressure on CIG merchandise to release new, very large mouse pads like the Terra mouse pad? Current one is crap. Respawn, I suspect there might be some cool merchandise at CitizenCon, and one of the things that those goodie tickets allow you to get is be able to buy the merchandise from CitizenCon as well. I heard there were many complaints about the 600i. Do you know if there are plans to rework and improve it? Yes, there are. After they finish the 890 jump, they are then going to do some revisions to the 600i. Don't expect huge revisions, but expect some tweaks based on feedback. There's quite a few ships that would make great accessories, yeah. You could do some cool little board games as well. Like if there was some great models of Star Citizen ships, I'd write a full thrust or Star Wars-esque rules for a ship game. Pretty good at balancing stuff like that. Does the digital ticket have lifetime insurance and can I upgrade it to an Idris? And unfortunately, they're now defunct. Will we be able to staff recreation areas like bars? Recreation areas. Will we be able to staff recreation areas like bars? Perhaps I could use face over IP to stand on stage and do a comedy routine. Haha, Citizen. Yes. There's going to be role players in it. I mean, that one of the things they want to do with the voice over IP and face over IP stuff is make it second lifey. So there's going to be lots of stuff that people might potentially pay you for or donate in-game currency for. You might be able to, you might be able to run bars and things potentially in social areas. Though that will be odd. I'm interested to see what you can actually do with that. In the recent RTV, Jared had a bit of a rant that Carrack wasn't being worked on due to work on object container streaming. So the Carrack is currently, they're waiting to do some other ships and object container streaming and a few other things. The Carrack should start production at some point this year, I believe. And when it is, Jared will tell everyone. The banner merchantman is such a slick design. Would you get a defender to go with it? Depends what I'm doing with it. The defender will be very good as a long-range escort fighter that doesn't, that doesn't need to dock with another ship to go long-range. Pardon me. As long as they don't give you that look and say, come on, sit on my dragonfly and pat its seat. Scooch up really close to you. Now we sit butt to butt. Release the Kraken. You've spelled Kraken, Karaken. Oh, I see. Lol, I was just looking at Herman Miller. I need a good chair. On my couch, I sleep on occasionally. Oh. I really recommend the Herman Miller Aeron. It's amazing. Do you think they might show off the Banner Merchantman? I mean, there's definitely going to have been progress made on it, even if it's just testing bits and for the white box or something. So probably, maybe. They talked about alien biomes, so maybe we'll see some alien buildings, alien cities, aliens, crazy new biomes and stuff. The Caterpillar modules still exist, yes. They will be doing the modular stuff at some point, Ash Angel. Will I do some more Star Trek VR content? Yeah, so there's the next generation packs out, isn't it, I think? We might play some VR stuff later today, MediC, Zin, and anyone else that's around. So yeah, we will start doing stuff like that more often. Everyone's been either depressed or ill or busy. Could I get Zin to go to Austin in my place? No. I don't think the community is ready to meet Zin. She's a monster. I love you, Zin. Is Shadow worth it? I live in Ireland. 240 down, 30 up. Yeah, so assuming you don't get any like super latency or anything, it should be pretty fucking solid for you. That's a solid connection to have. I really rate Shadow. That's why I work with them to try and promote their stuff and make sure it works for Star Citizen every patch. I do get a little kickback when people use my code, but I think it's a great service. I think that's where I think what you're going to have is you're going to have hardware enthusiasts, which have their own rigs in the future, which will like be high spec rigs. And I think a lot of other gameplay will go down the streamed route. So you will literally have cloud-based computers, and this is sort of like a reasonably good version of that. If you had scale models of ships, would you want them all the same scale? Oh, potentially you should have different ranges. So you should have a 72, 1 to 72 scale, a 1 to 36 scale, and all that sort of stuff. As ranges of ships based on their size, like the capital ships, maybe you'd want to do them all to 1 to 76, 1 to 72, and then the fighters all 1 to 36. You see what I mean? And have them as ranges and have like 3 different ranges. As uniform as possible so that people can collect. I would buy every ship you made, Big JR, if you said you were going to do every ship and there was a formula to it, because I'd have display cabinets for them all. You could even make the display cabinets. I mean, so how much would I pay for them? I mean, it depends how good the quality model is. Are they signed? Are they numbered? If they're a limited run, if you're doing like 1,000 and they're all signed by the guy that made them, or by Chris Roberts, like a little card signed by them, a lot. I mean, I'd pay a couple of, yeah, potentially a lot of money. I think you want to work that out with the community as well, because stuff like that I'm willing to pay a lot for. But you want it to be reasonably elitist when you're talking about like super high quality collectibles like that you potentially could sell, but you don't want to totally alienate everyone. So there's a nice balance there. Yeah, collector's editions. I mean, if you did kits as well, kits would be cool. Ash Angel, thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. When do you think we'll get the Hull C? So they've talked about this as well. They need the multi-grid physics tech completed, and then they need to work on the problem of the compression of the Hull C so that it can expand and contract, which is currently both of those things are on the backlog. We could get that. We could get that in 3.4. We could get that in 3.6. We don't know. It's something that they've got in mind and they are going to be working on in the not too distant future. Hey, Bored, what types of black market trading, smuggling outside of narcotics have they discussed? Alien weapons and commodities, perhaps. They haven't really talked about all of it. Stolen goods, narcotics, and illegal items that are based on the law of the area. But they haven't really discussed exactly what those are. Are you moist for cyberpunk? So for me, it represents sort of like the original Deus Ex. Sort of like, that's what it looked like to me. I was like, this is a beautiful version of the original Deus Ex. I'm pretty excited for it. It will be a single-player game, because I'm not too excited about single-player games typically, but I'm genuinely excited for it. I might even put it on the main channel, my playthrough of it. I'll at least do it on stream or the second channel, But yeah. I'd like to see a Batcave base that only I can fly into and craft stuff, and wire my ship and drink a beer, but mainly crafting on ships. So they talked a little bit on RTV about the potential for having private hangars at and private habs at those planets and stuff that would literally be physicalized and private, that you'd either rent or buy or whatever. So yeah, potentially you could have that with the asteroid hangars and stuff like that around Grimhex as well. There'll be an amount potentially of these purchasable, rentable hangars that are separate from more public hangars. How much delay am I running on? It's not that much delay, so it's just I'm around five to plus minutes behind on the actual text. So, well, yeah, I suppose 5 minutes. Fuck you. So if Star Citizen do demos, please do a demo of Squadron 42 that everyone can play. Just a little bit. Just half an hour of gameplay. Just something that its own encapsulated mission or something. A little demo. Let's go back to demos, guys. Do you remember when we could test a game out before we had to commit to buying? If Star Citizen wants to get mainstream and wants to make a load of people happy, release a demo. If you have a really fucking good demo just before your game goes live or whatever, or a few months before your game goes live, that is going to put a lot of haters in their place. Because they'll be like, oh, this is super consumer. Now, someone's giving me money. I am going to buy so many spaceships.
Hello, I'm just getting into Star Citizen and your videos are helping me find my way around. At the game's current stage, me and my friends are going to hopefully make an org. And I wish the best to you with these $10. Love your videos. Sorry for bad grammar.
No, don't be sorry for bad grammar. I'm sorry for never being able to get anyone's name right and my terrible English. I'm dyslexic. I have problems reading. It's a very odd choice of work that I've gone into. But I suppose that I kind of bullet point my videos and then just talk. Most of my time for videos is spent researching and understanding something and then just talking about it when I'm ready to talk about it. But thank you so much. That's very much appreciated. Your $10 will make me happy. Star. That was a beautiful. That's made me all warm inside. Tingly. Hey, Bored, when they introduce water into the game, are they going to have rivers and other waterways? If so, will it be called Stream Citizen? I fucking hate you. But to answer your question, even if you were just trying to do a pun, yeah, they're almost certainly going to have rivers and other waterways as well. They're doing all their water tech, so they actually are. They've talked about it in the recent around the verse that they can change the opaqueness, the opaqueness, the translucency of the water, the color. They're doing wave simulation. They're even factoring in weather, dynamic weather over the planets and stuff, how it's going to affect the water and that sort of stuff. So it should be pretty in depth. And yeah, I mean, water's going to be cool in the game. In 3.3, the interaction with water might be you can just clip through it, or it just kills you instantly or blows up your ship, whatever. It's going to be very early stages for water. So just bear that in mind. Which planetary system would you like CIG to start work on once Stanton's complete? Terra or Sol? Those are the hero ones, aren't they? Alien biomes show a planet in the Hades system. Yeah, that's one of the things they're supposed to be showing at sorry, it's clapped and clicked. It's my brain trying to work things out. At CitizenCon, they're supposed to be showing alien biomes, or at least that's the topic of one of their presentations. And it's now free to everyone! I know base building will be a thing. I have a Pioneer. What do you anticipate or hope of the Tier 0 will look like? I don't really know. I mean, I suppose it would just be the placing of some form of semi-functional building and then the protection of that. I mean, the Tier 0 might just be placing a sort of like semi-empty room with a bed that you can just log in and out of, and then some of the land claim protection stuff and that sort of thing. It can be pretty simple for Tier 0. They just need to sort of like get it there, and then they can have people working on it while they're working on the other components. Bored, with all the time and work that Evocati donate for testing, did they get any gifts in gratitude, like small pieces of hanger flow or clothing? No. They get to test stuff early. They get access to all the ships during testing, things like that. It's a thankless job. They might get something in the future. Can you persuade Shadow to come and sponsor BlizzCon next year? Maybe? Shadow are pretty friendly with me. I'm helping them out a lot when it comes to mentoring and things as well now. Yeah, Big Joe, we'll talk about that in a bit. I need to talk to Chris Franklin as well about BlizzCon next year as well, if he's still planning on doing it. Otherwise, we'll have to stage a coup and get someone to do it. But hopefully he'll want to, because he's the only person with the tolerance to organise all of that shit. Like, that must be difficult. But yes, I'll talk to you, and I'll talk to you after the stream. What's my main corporation? BoredGamer and Nomad Black are my two main ones. BoredGamer is probably what I'm going to be working on and getting people into that want to do social stuff in the game. It will be recording. It will be doing stuff for the channel. It might be do some news reporting. It might be some other bits and bobs that is more social rather than super crazy focused or organised. Have you seen Tom's hardware article? The GTX or RTX 2080, just buy it. The madness, Osri, of that article. Like, it basically said, oh, the early adopters like benefits you get from spending loads of money on tech that you don't know what it's going to be like is worth buying it. So just buy it now. That's madness as well. That was so weird. Like, don't pre-order. Don't pre-order something you don't have the stats confirmed for. Like, you don't know what's going to be using ray tracing. You don't know how much better, if at all, that a 2080 is than a 1080 Ti for current games. It might be a year or two before games are using ray tracing properly. It might be a year or two before they come into their own. We just don't know. So wait until we have third-party reviews that aren't just based on synthetic benchmarks. That's a reasonable line to go down. If you have more money than sense, or you have a lot of money to burn, and you have to have the newest stuff, yeah, potentially pre-order then. But it's going to be very rare cases. And these cards aren't even going to be good for, almost certainly aren't going to be good for Bitcoin mining, which is an interesting one as well, because obviously ray tracing and the learning, the AI learning stuff that they're using, there's just no algorithms that get used for crypto mining at the moment. So no one's written them. So that's just a weird article. And it just stinks of me that people have been paid off to promote like the 2080s and stuff. It was like I had the same like inkling about Scum. Like, Scum seems to have come from nowhere, and people seem to be really, really pro Scum, even though the servers are a bit shitty today. So that was a weird one as well. But I'm accusing people, it just rings my alarm bells. How long will it take CIG to build 100 systems? It's a really fucking good question. They've got 120 sort of like planned on paper. I'm suspecting that we'll get like maybe up to 3 to 5 for a beta, up to 30, 40 for a released game. And then the others will come month to month. We'll get a system or two or something like that, probably. They can actually build systems out pretty rapidly, and all the content for them like within a few days, like quite genuinely. The hero assets and some of the placements that take a bit longer, but they can have a lot of that going on at the same time as well, especially once Squadron 42 is done. So Squadron 42 is going to have a load of assets for system completion. Stanton system, when that's done, it's going to have a load of those modular pieces to be able to build into other systems. So a few years before they get 100 systems in, though. Like a couple of 2-3 years after the game's released, maybe, for 100 systems would be my expectation. You could probably get 10 to 20 systems in a year. What is the state/progress of team squad-based missions, ETA 3.3? So they talked about this a bit. They want the ability to be able to share missions and share quantum beacons and stuff like that with other players. I think they're aiming for it to be in 3.4 now. But before the end of the year is sort of like the aim. Expect more group features and stuff like that for 3.3 though. Oh, Gamers Nexus. So Steve Burke, I think's his name. He's a legend. He gets good interviews with Chris Roberts as well. His reply to Tom's Hardware's Gone Mad, just buy it, the article was good. He's very good because he does his stuff at quite a high level and sometimes explains it for the layman. And a lot of the time it's slightly slightly higher level than I'd want. But his stuff's good. His stuff's good when it comes to hardware, PC stuff. Between systems, there will be gates, jump points, yes. With possible gate camping mechanics, potentially. Probably not in the patrolled, like, high security areas and UE areas. They might want mechanics so that you can't gate camp or jump point camp for the discovered points. But there probably are going to be areas and in like 0-sec space where they are frontier space where you could gate camp. Have I bought a Star Runner yet? Yes, I have. I remember when the GTA 1 demo first came out, they gave you 10 minutes of full gameplay and you could do anything you wanted. Oh yeah, they did. That was cool. I played that demo 1 billion times. You can't see my question? Question mark? I can see your question. It's just I'm just a bit delayed. About 5 minutes. How Earth-like is Earth going to be? Don't know. Probably a giant city planet. If it indeed exists and hasn't been destroyed. How will they build Earth? I don't know. I suspect there'll be multiple landing zones on Earth and the Moon. And they will try and allow you to see the planet from like on high, but probably will like force your path down certain areas so you just can't ram things randomly. And they did sort of talk about that in RTV recently. What capital ships do you think will be used most in the game? Most used, the Polaris, because it will be cheaper, and then like the Idris and stuff, it will be based on cheapness.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Nasty Masty Star Citizen. Nasty Masty SC. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. The sub. Love you. Mwah. My guess is they will give a few really nice items with digipacks as a reward for going along with the idea of paying. Yeah, I suspect that anything they add during CitizenCon will just be added to those packs. If you had a Star Wars character, who would you be? Jango Fett, Boba Fett sort of thing. I like bounty hunters, I like guns. Typically, when people play games and there is a odd class in that game, I want to play that. So if people love lightsabers in Star Wars, I'll want to play non-melee. I'll want to go guns. I want to go like a tank or something odd. Or if in Monster Hunter, if it's melee based, I'll want to go guns. If it's Left 4 Dead 2, Left 4 Dead 2, I like melee. Killing Floor 2, I play the melee class in that, even though it's a mainly gun game. Like, I like the slightly odder, like, characters. I love how BlizzCon comes out as Brothers in Common with the captions. Huh. I bought it, I'm running a 1050 Ti, so either way, it's a great upgrade for me. How do you think the Mako news van will affect the streaming community? We don't know yet. We need to work out how that streaming in game is going to work. Like, we know we've got the render to texture tech. We know they can do it. How many people can stream simultaneously? How is it going to work? Can I stream to multiple views? Will it be like Twitch in game? Will it be like people can just tune in to other people's broadcasts and they make money based on their viewers? That'll be cool. That'll be fucking amazing for me. Like, we don't know how it's going to work yet, but it'll be cool. So, what else have we got here? Do you think the Star Citizen community was a little hard on CIG? You can't blame them for trying to raise some event planning cash. CitizenCons are expensive. It's not the development cash they want to use. Yeah, I mean, that's a totally reasonable point of view. A lot of people were very extreme one way or the other, and pretty unreasonable. That's also true. CIG need to be better at communication, and they need to be better at vetting things. Like, obviously, this was going to cause, the way they did it, caused a lot of sort of like outrage. Yeah, a lot of that outrage was probably manufactured, but and it could have been avoided. I think that's the thing. And a lot of the stuff that CIG wanted to do it for was reasonable, but they needed to talk to the community about it first. and they needed to work stuff out. And they need to work out exactly what CitizenCon is for. Those, for me, that CitizenCon stream, at least the keynote speech, has to go to the widest audience as possible to help generate hype. You don't want to make it super elitist. You can make parts of it elitist, like the behind the scenes stuff, and help support the event, and you get some cool stuff, and you get to watch some of the other events throughout the day. Yeah, cool. Digital ticket me up. Boom, boom, boom. Once the Star Citizen's got some released, like Squadron 42 released, and Star Citizen and beta and stuff, yeah, you're getting more like Blizzard. You can do a BlizzCon. But for now, they haven't got the pedigree yet. Last year's CitizenCon was amazing. We saw it. It was a proper fan fest. This year's going to be, hopefully, twice as good, which would be insane. And if they get that pedigree, then maybe next year they can do something a bit more ticketed, and they can talk to the community about it first. Have I played Vermintide 2? Yes, entirely completed it. Haven't played the expansion for it yet. It's like Left 4 Dead 2 with Skaven. Indeed it is. It's very cool. It's very fun. I play the Witch Hunter very regularly. Ancient weapons in Star Citizen, like AK-47? Don't know. Maybe some stuff that is low attack. You might see like an AK-47 in the museum, maybe. But you'll see stuff that's styled like Castor Arms might have a gun that's very similar. Yeah, maybe. When do I think Star Citizen will actually be released? Beta in a couple of years. Full release. Well, a on-the-shelf release, which would be a proper release. 3 years, 3.5 years time for now. My gut reasonable estimate. Do you think they will put quantum travel to any point back in game? Oh, so like you just select anywhere on the star map and you just go there, or you can blind jump. They're talking about it now. They're working out exactly what they want to do with stuff like that, and they're working out the plotting system and navigation systems at the moment. So don't know. It's in the air at the moment, but they are looking at it. Do you think they will be able to add prison cells to cargo ships? Potentially, some ships will have modular aspects where you can put prison cells in. Or cells. With the flight model being redesigned, what changes would you like to see? The flight model needs to be more simple. It needs to just fucking work. Ships, I don't want ships super responsive. Well, I want them responsive, but hard to explain. I want them responsive, but I don't want them super agile, I suppose. Like, I want to be able to turn, get to an area. I want to have to think about how I'm moving. I don't want to have a shitty time constantly aiming. But I do want a relatively high skill ceiling. I need to sit down and think exactly what I want in a flight in a flight model. So I will answer that question next time I stream. Can you PM me it? Because I'll probably talk about it at some point. That's a really important question. I haven't thought about it enough. What obscure job in Star Citizen are you most interested in playing? Most certainly economy-based stuff. I'd like to run Banning Merchantman, shops in the Banning Merchantman. I'd like to run trade outposts on planets that are mine. I don't really know. Something economy-based, something manufacturer-based, something potentially drugs and probably farming, actually. Farming on the Endeavour or on a planet. I think mid to late 2020, you'll have a beta of the game. I think that's sort of like the beta time. That's my personal opinion. I'm not. I mean, I might run an outlaw or slaver and weird stuff on a secondary account just to cover it as content. But I'm pretty relatively lawful, or at least not aggressively outlawry. And I'm very economy based. So you'll probably notice a lot of my videos will be how-tos and guides and gameplay on doing economy things, mining and manufacture and trade and cargo. Not necessarily just hauling or anything, because I'm not super into hauling. But I am interested in those other economy jobs and science as well. The Endeavour, all the stuff the Endeavour does. Hey Bored, my question is today, even with object container streaming in, I can't imagine how our RAM should handle the game properly when, for example, 1,000 ships are around. Well, they just render at levels of detail the outside of the ship. That'll work. Pretty simple. Rendering, that's fine. and probably calculation stuff that will probably be fine as well. So they need bind culling, they need optimization to the network stuff, they need all of that stuff just sorted, and then they need the server meshing stuff to all work. Like, it's all, in theory, works fine. They just don't have all the tech there yet. Just copy Elite flight model and done. Is the redesigned Mustang better than the Aurora? Can I trade it? I think you can upgrade to the Mustang for $5, or you can just potentially melt your package and just buy the Mustang package. I think it's better. I think the Mustang is just better. It's faster, it looks cool, it folds up, so it can save space, it's got cargo, it's a cool looking ship now. I'm going to go urinate very quickly, and then we'll wrap up. We'll go through any things, we'll wrap up. Oh, I did have a nice pee, thank you. It was quite powerful as well. Right. I always wait because he's ending. Well, we'll talk about a couple of things before we just say we're done. So CitizenCon stuff's been relatively resolved. Like, it was I mean, I'm not against, certainly not against the idea of them having a high quality stream and having a professional stream guys come in there. Although I thought that subscriber money was paying for professional setup and professional quality of videos, so I was assuming that a lot of that subscriber money was going into CitizenCon. I might be incorrect about that. I'm not sure how expensive getting a professional team in to do everything and set it up for the stream. Not sure how much that costs, to be honest. I'll do some research into that at some point, but I'm not against them having a higher quality stream. The way that they announced it to the community obviously created outrage. Some of that outrage was clearly manufactured. People were a bit too extreme on both sides. But it's been resolved now. They're saying it's going to be free to all Star Citizen account holders, which you don't need to own anything other than literally make an account. You don't need to buy anything. I think that's a bit of a mistake myself, because I think they should have it streamed on Twitch and YouTube as well. But we'll see what they do. We'll see what they decide. I think potentially they could have Blizzcon, sort of like type conferences in the future. I just think it was a bit too early to do something like this, at least without speaking to the community about it first. It's one of the things about open development, isn't it? Like, you need to talk, you need to communicate, and CIG are relatively reactionary, and they should be proactive. That's my opinion on that. You can have a totally different opinion if you want. You can say, oh, they should be doing it this way, or they should be doing that way.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
But it's been resolved either way now. Chris Roberts has got involved and said, right, free for everyone. Do you think they will avoid people sending positions of something interesting by TeamSpeak instead of a data runner? You might not be able to send that. You might not be able to communicate exactly where that thing is. Even if you just gave them sort of like rough click here sort of thing, it might be hundreds of thousands of kilometers out. You see what I mean? But we'll see exactly how the star map works in the future and how you can do coordinates. If coordinates are numbered, yeah, you could just give them to other people, couldn't you? With F1 cars now having struts and saving a driver from injury, will the struts from the Aurora save you if you crash land, where you will have no chance in a Mustang? I mean, it's likely that the Aurora is going to be a lot more sturdy when it comes to armor and hull. And maybe it will survive impacts better. I don't know how crashing is actually going to work. I'm not sure how damage is going to be applied and that sort of stuff either. So that sort of stuff we will talk about in guides and explanations of how mechanics work once they actually are in the game and stable. Board, the ships we're sold now are expensive. How easy do you think it will be to earn these ships in game once the game is released? It will be balanced by partly by the community. We don't know exactly how long it's going to take. But a lot of stuff that's not capital ships, I would suggest earning yourself in game. And capital ships, earning yourself in game is probably still the better route, but with a group of people. They're not intended to be purchased by solo players. If a ship crashes into the main bridge of an Idris frigate, will the ship be dead in the water, or does it have an alternative bridge? If you entirely destroyed the bridge, that's an interesting one. I'm not sure how like that sort of catastrophic damage will happen. Like, will you then be able to repair it by hand, or will you need a crucible? And will it need to be a deal with a mixture of both? Can you destroy entire sections that are actually just hull based? We don't know yet. A lot of YouTubers I've watched already streamed it since. Okay, yeah. 100,000 for a third-party streaming company is absurd. But yeah, it can cost 6 figures. So what was it like? What are we thinking? Like 30k? We need to do research into it.
I am going to buy so many spaceships.
Oh,
Hey Bored, love the
Squadron.
channel. What do you think we're likely to see at CitizenCon? Also, please feck off.
Go on telling me to fuck off. This is what I like! And asking me questions. Yes. I'll answer that in a second about CitizenCon. I do think the ship boarding will be possible in the future. Yes, they're working on ship-to-ship docking. Boarding is going to be a thing. Hacking is going to be a thing. Boarding is one of the things I'm most excited about in Star Citizen. Stuff at CitizenCon. So, there is actually a schedule up for CitizenCon, so we can talk about that. I do think they're going to be announcing potentially both Titan suits and the Kraken, which would be a Drake civilian carrier. So we've got the keynote opening, which is at 1 p.m. Austin time, which I think is UTC -5 or -6. And then we've got so that's the main presentation that we typically get. So this will be new reveals, gameplay, cool stuff. And then we've got some other stuff split between 2 stages. So we've got creating the visuals of the verse, making a CitizenCon trophy and custom weapon, the art of Hurston, some cool design stuff from Tony Zerovic, which will be fucking awesome. Art and tech bring players and NPCs to life. Creating alien ecosystems, biomes on the range. This is going to be exciting for me. The mod squad, creating modular in-game elements. Principles of flight, building the new Star Citizen flight experience. That is going to be really interesting as well. And that could be the new flight model and how they're all balancing it and all that sort of stuff as well. The sound of violence, weapon FX, a VFX breakdown as well. Beyond content, exploring the advanced tech behind the new game additions. Now, what does that mean? Is that referring to additions that they're developing that we already know about? Or is that new stuff? Like, hopefully not feature creep. I'm okay with supporting features that are part of other features that were like, oh yeah, because of this we need this, or we're having space stations that players can control, or this is all to do with the land claim mechanics or whatever. So supporting modules, great. If it's entirely new things, that please know more after this if it is. But yeah, I'm interested to see what the hell that is. Voiceover, sound mixing, cool. The story behind the content, cool. That's Lawmakers one, and then Road to Release. So I think that's the closing ceremony as well. Hopefully, Road to Release. Maybe they might give us some interesting things on, you know, when Squadron 42 Episode 1 coming out. Is it going to be added to the roadmap? Some milestones, what's left to complete. That's what I'd like. I don't see any Squadron 42. Well, you might, because it might be in the opening keynote, and it might be in the end. You don't see any Star Citizen either. Well, I suppose the persistent universe. But I mean, all of this could have Squadron 42 stuff. This could, you know, lots of stuff could. When am I coming to Australia? Oh, give me time. Like, I'm feeling good about traveling again now, but that's Australia is. I mean, Aventador tried to get me to go to Australia. He's trying to pay for me as well. I will come at some point. I'll see when Cameron is over in Australia for some reason. I'll see if I can potentially go with him, assuming it's not a business trip for him. It's because he's a Kiwi, so pretty close. I bought the digital ticket and goodie pack. Love to have things in double, but now it's free. I'm like, what can I do? Will they refund it? I don't know. I will tweet Star Citizen people if it's not already been answered somewhere. Hopefully they'll just refund you for it, because they should refund you, because it's something that's now gone, rather than give you store credit, or at least you should be able to get a refund on it. So my health's going good now. Like I'm getting ultra scanned like next week, because they're just checking my gut, my liver, and stuff like that. I had a kidney infection, which they gave me those antibiotics for. This chair that I've got seems to have fixed everything else. Someone did say it might be a slip disc or your back. A slip disc. Let's make that clear. Don't want that's a Freudian dick in my mouth. But yeah, so this chair helped my back no end. Like it's amazing. It's so comfortable. So it could have been a slip disc or something, a problem with my back that this is now fixed. And it just could have been lower back pain. Cap ships should have secondary control centers like your ones do. Well, I mean, potentially console might be able to do pretty much anything MFD if you've got the right security and whatever. Release the Titan Racken! You think they will reveal new female model at Gamescom? No. But at CitizenCon they might. Why is my chest hollow? Because it's a similar yellow to the screen is green. I'm going to have a barbecue in a minute. I'm just going to barbecue up some stuff. Might grab a beer. Oh my... I actually got cider. Oh, I'm going to be naughty and have a cider. If you play a female character, will you use a voice game challenger for immersion? Yes, my robot voice. I need to use the VT, my voice transformer Roland thing that I bought. So yes, I will do some stupid stuff. I've got a stream deck as well that I don't even use for Star Citizen or anything. I don't use it as the stream, and I don't use for Star Citizen. I've loaded up some buttons on it once and messed around with it. But it's just lying here, costing a lot of money, doing nothing. So yes, I will do some stuff like that. What's going on the barbecue? I've got some pulled pork burgers. It's basically pulled pork in like a raw pulled pork in a circular thing. I've got some sirloin steaks. So I could chuck a couple of those on. I've got some rib cap and ox heart burgers. There's a butcher near me called Uptons of Bassett, and it is one of the best, if not the best, butcher in the UK for certain things. It is superb, the meat there. It all has provenance. It's all really well sourced. Their food is delicious. They know what they're talking about when they chat to you, and they're willing to chat to their customers. The stuff is quite expensive, but these burgers are fucking amazing. Search for Roland VT-3, and you'll be able to look it up on Amazon. So I got mine. I think it was like a £90. Mine was. They occasionally go on sale. I think I think me and Maya got ours for like 80 to 100 quid. You can get them for like $100 occasionally. What kind of size do you think the rumoured Drake carrier will be? Big enough to carry multiple medium-sized ships. But I don't know. I mean, it could be larger than an Idris size. And then focused on not combat, but literally carrying ships and being a mobile shop, and basically a mobile space station almost. Do you think multiplayer ships will actually end up crewed or empty giant ships flown by one person? It depends. In certain areas of space, I suspect they will literally be flown empty by one person doing stuff. Especially you might get extreme things where in the very safe areas that happens, and very, very dangerous or zero-sec exploration areas that might also happen. But I don't know. I don't really know. It's an interesting one, though. When will you come down under? When I come down under, you'll show me a real barbecue. Okay, no. I promise at some point I will, if it's within my power, come to the Americas and come to the Australias and come to the Asias and do bar citizens and sea orgs, and people can import me. So I will at some point genuinely do that. Do I think a small org will have a hard time in the verse? Depends what you're doing. Potentially, yeah, if you're trying to do PvP in extremely PvP orientated areas and trying to secure stuff, if you don't want to have any other sort of like allies. But if you want to be part of alliances and stuff, yeah, you'll probably be fine. Keep your sovereignty. It's up to you. You can be part of multiple orgs as well. I'm not attending CitizenCon this year. I'm at Centre Parks in the UK. I will be covering it, but I will not be attending. I have a Connie, Hammerhead, and Polaris. I want a smaller ship for Jack of all trades with good weapons, Freelancer or Cutlass. Yeah, Freelancer or Cutlass is a good choice. It depends exactly what you want to do. Cutlass is probably going to be cheaper to maintain. Freelancer is probably going to be better for weapons and cargo and a bit more high tech. But the Cutlass is probably going to be a bit smaller. Well, actually, pretty similar. I like the Cutlass more because I'm a Drake boy. Big boy. Will we get player-built stations at some point? We don't know. They talked recently about the stretch goal which they had, which was player, not maintained. What was the term they used? Player-operated stations. So they are talking about that at the moment. So potentially, yes. Will I provide tutorials for voice stack and HCS voice packs? I mean, Noobify does that so well. I could have a little. I might do like a little tiny video and an article on my website about it if people want that. I might try and just work with Noobify more. Like, he does some stuff so well. Some of it's irrelevant for me to do. I will be getting a civilian Hercules because I want to carry tanks to planets. Not sure, but another YouTuber friend might want to attend, and if so, end up going as well. Release the crack teamer. Oh my god, I do want them to give us some updates on the Redeemer. That would be cool. If I recognise your voice, I'll say hi. No worries. I'm not going to CitizenCon this year though. Hey man, I just wanted to say thank you for putting these up and keeping us informed and entertained. Thank you very much for watching. I very much appreciate it. I've got a great community on the Discord, on my YouTube, on the Twitch. Everyone's relatively reasonable, and even if they're not, people seem to be willing to discuss their points of view without getting too ragey. That's all I want, really. If we're going to just talk about something, people are allowed to have different points of view. People are allowed to have extreme points of view, as long as they don't mind discussing them, as long as they don't mind, going, okay, well, I respect your opinion or make my own decision though, or whatever, as long as they don't mind talking about it and don't get angry at you and don't tell you what you should think. Will you end your voice for a HCS voice pack? I will talk to, I can't remember his fucking name, Paul, about it. I would love to do a HCS voice pack. How do you get ray tracing to work on your stream? Really like the realism of your shiny head. Oh my god, Jack Williams, you're a monster. What are your top 10 need to have ships for after work gamer? There are not with real money. Probably my top one's the Avenger Titan. Avenger Titan will be number one because it's just cheap and it does everything you need for a single person. Mercury's going to be pretty high up on there now. A load of the industrial ships are going to be pretty high up there. I'll have a think about it. There was something else I was needed to think about as well. But I can't remember what it was. I'm sure someone messaged me. Right. I love the Mustang Alpha as well. Like, the Mustang Alpha is my favourite styling ship. If you want to spend a little bit more, then get the Titan. But you're the best source of information I found for Star Citizen. Boom, much appreciated. That is going to be a testimonial on my grave. I'll just have all the fucking nice comments that I've ever had on my gravestone. When the game is live, are you bored? Oh, fuck you. Got Thompson now. I'm not even going to finish it. Avenger Titan is my number one suggested ship to new players. Yeah, it's great. But yes, I love you guys. You're the best. Check out the CitizenCon schedule. If you want to discuss anything, please jump on my Discord and message me, or email me, contact@boredgamer.co.uk, or message me however, and I'll try and read your comment, or tweet me, whatever. I'm supposed to tweet something to CIG. I'll remember what it was in a second. But I love you guys. Thank you very much. If you want to support the stream or channel further, you can join ups on the subscriptions on the Twitch, or join as a sponsor on YouTube. That gives you access to emotes and stuff in your name and when you're commenting on videos and that sort of stuff. It also gives you behind the scenes access, the same as the Patreons. So that comes with exclusive content and that sort of stuff. And with Patrons, I do try and help some of the Patrons out with referrals for Star Citizen and stuff like that as well. So there is a line to me. You can help influence the channel. So yeah, I love you. Thank you. Thank you for all the donations. Thank you for all the love. I very much appreciate it. I'm very privileged to have the community that I do and you guys to watch me. So peace out. Oh, let's find someone else to thingamajig, you know, to host or something. The BoredGamer streamers will be streaming again soon, and I'm probably going to be employing Zin full time to work on Star Citizen content and other gaming and hardware content as well. But yeah, I think that'll be a major a boon for the channel because she'll be able to edit, and she's video edit. Oh my god, video edit. So all right, who else is around? Anyone streaming Star Citizen? We got Twerkypoos. We'll just fucking host Twerkypoos. He's playing some Star Citizen, so we're going to host him. Give us some love. Just say that maybe he should shave his head or something. I don't fucking know. Love you guys. You take care. Go twerk some love. Slash raid. Twerk. 17. Yeah, but sorry, the stream was basically delayed from Friday. I've got like potentially the beginnings of flu. My dad had flu. My body aches. I'm pretty tired, but I'm always pretty tired. Just, you know, just being a bit erratic. Thanks very much for watching, guys. You take care. I'll see you in the verse and kisses. Save all your kisses for me. Save all your kisses for free. I don't know the words, but take care. I'll see you soon. Peace.